My Pansage by the Smash Player. Have you ever loved a Pokemon so much that you never wanted it to lose in battle? I know I have. Pansage and Simisage are two of my all-time favorite Pokemon. I had just completed Pokemon Black, and I had just heard of Pokemon Black 2, and I couldn't wait to get it. I picked up an unused copy at my local GameStop only 2 months after release. I got home, popped in the cartridge, and I started a new file with my first name, Dawn. I chose Tepig as my starter and immediately went on the hunt for a Pansage. When I caught one, I named him Simisan. Through my Pokemon journey, I trained Simisan, and everything in the game was fine. However, the music would fade out sometimes, and the text wouldn't appear when talking to an NPC character, only a blank text box. When Simisan was at the level that I thought he should evolve, I went to find a leaf stone. I found one on the ground. There was a large crack in the stone in the picture. Just before I pressed use, a text box came up and said in all caps, "Beware the shards of evolution." I didn't use it because I was way too freaked out to find out what could happen if I used it. I went to sleep because it was really late after playing my Wii for so long. It took me forever to fall asleep, but eventually I did. I had a weird dream that night. In my dream, it showed my character in nothing but pitch black darkness. He was lying on the ground with his Pansage. His Pansage had a sad expression. Pansage started shaking the trainer. The trainer got up. The trainer looked around and said, "Where are we?" The trainer took his Pansage by the hand and started running. A blue light started appearing. It then showed a blue screen with the trainer and the Pansage looking at it. On the screen appeared a leaf stone. It was the same one in my game with a large crack on it. A few seconds passed and then Pansage turned to white. The blue screen then said, "Pansage is evolving." After a minute, the trainer's Pansage reappeared on the ground. He was asleep. The trainer took a knee. He shook his Pansage, begging him to wake up. It was no use. The trainer started to cry with his head down on his Pansage. At this exact moment, I woke up. I went over to GameStop and I brung my cartridge. I told the man at the counter everything that had been happening that was not supposed to. He said he knew about these things because apparently something like this has happened to another customer. The man said that there was no cracks or any severe damage to the cartridge itself, but that there was some data missing in the cartridge. Approximately 1% of the cartridge's data was missing. He said that I had a defective cartridge. The man said that everything would be fine if I do use the cracked leaf stone. I turned on my DS, started up Pokemon Black 2, and it showed me in Drift Vale City. There was no music playing and there was absolutely no NPCs in the game. I didn't press any buttons, and it automatically took me to my items menu. The picture of the leaf stone this time showed an even bigger crack in the stone. An option came up. Use. I was not allowed to disable the item. The only Pokemon that I was able to use leaf stone on was Simisan. I was forced to use the leaf stone on Simisan, and it went on with the evolution screen, but it went black instead of the bright orange. There was no music either. As Simisan was evolving, blood came out of the white light, and sharp shards of green stone came out too. When the evolution was done, there was a dead Simisage on screen with bloody cuts and wounds. He had also lost a hand and an ear. When the screen faded to black, a text box came up in all caps, and I read, "Your friend is gone. Forever." It was almost exactly what I saw in my dream, except more violent. It then showed my Simisage on the screen. A text box came up and said something that surprised me. Simisan used Destiny Bond. It then showed me next to my Simisage. It then showed us one last time before fading away. The screen faded to black, and one last text box appeared. Game over. After pressing the A button one last time, I turned off my DS and threw it in the trash. That was my Pansage. Final thoughts? God, I don't know what to say. This was really generic. Guy starts by saying he loves his Pokemon, guy gets a defective game from GameStop, clerk says this has happened before, guy's Pokemon has a gory death, person throws out or breaks DS or cartridge. The only thing that stood out to me was the line, "Your friend is gone, forever." That line was really stupid. I think that if you took the absolute core idea of a cracked evolution stone, maybe you could make a good story out of that, but this story just doesn't cut it. I don't know how the hell this made it to the show. That's it for this creepypasta. Tune in again next Saturday when we tackle yet another story made and sent in by the fans. If you want to write your own story, help peer edit a story, or even just read the stories early, check out the description where you'll find a link to the Creepypasta section of my forum. You'll also find a link to the playlist of every creepypasta reading I've done. If you're interested in keeping up with me on my blog posts, join my Facebook fan page linked below, and if you want to support me in what I do, check out my Patreon page in the description. Remember that if you want your story to be read on the show, you must stay active on your post on the forum as well as read the forum rules. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, sweet dreams.